Okay, excited to get back. Playing games. Going to go to Arkansas, an SEC road game. Talking about a team that the last two games they had really good opportunities to win. They're playing extremely hard. I think that is a tribute to their coaching staff. We're expecting to get their best. Offensively, they have some young playmakers that can really do some things with the ball once they get it in their hands. Defensively, they flat got after us last year. I think 225 total yards, less than 100 yards rushing. Our special teams defense played really good. And so they got a lot of those guys back. Their defense coordinator is one of the best in the business. Cameron Curl, a defensive back, leading them in tackles, very good player that was there last year. Dejon Harris played very well against us last year. And then McTelvin Ajim is one of the best defensive linemen in our league. So they definitely have our attention. Our guys, we had a solid practice Sunday. Today will just be a base down practice. I expect our guys to be ready. And really our focus has been that, the things that we need to correct. We need to keep improving, to correct the things that the mistakes we made in the first half. And so that's our focus. Like I said, going on the road in the SEC, looking forward to playing Arkansas. Questions?
When it comes to the running back situation, we haven't seen it in a while. You to be able to trust a freshman for a drive or two. Do you trust DJ Williams to get?
Yeah, he's going to get an opportunity to touch the ball, and I think he's earned that. He's healthy now, and so. But you also see the other guys that were taking with us with the ball too.
How important is it to create a few more of those? You have some explosive plays, a lot of them in the passing game.
Yeah.
Do that in the running game and to create some chunk yards.
No, I think so. Whether it's running game, whether it's pass game, we have to create explosive plays. And when we do that, we're a good offense. When we don't, we're average. And so that's been an emphasis, not just run game, but passing game or however you get them. And so hopefully that'll continue. We did a solid job of that up until our last game, and we need to get back to explosive plays.
Gus, you talked a good bit before the season about wanting to get back to play fast.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been able to do that as much as you wanted to?
I think so. I don't want to say completely simplifying things, but a lot of times when you play fast, you're able to have snap plays and have options and everything that goes with that. So we've really worked hard on just getting back to the basics. A lot of times in off weeks, that's what you do, from a staff anyway, but we've worked extremely hard to do that, and kind of goes back to explosive plays too. When you have explosive plays, you're able to play fast and get some pace and get first downs and everything that goes with that. So, so we've really tried to just kind of go back to basics, and hopefully that'll, carry over and, equal those two things we just talked about.
Do you feel good about your plan with Anthony Schwartz after him only getting one carry against Florida, and then also did you discover some new things you could do with him?
Well, I think anytime you've got a playmaker like him, especially you have an off week, you have ways to get your playmakers the ball. We have some other playmakers too. It wasn't really just him. I mean, we've got to give some certain guys certain chances, and that was kind of part of the evaluation over the off week. But Schwartz is a dynamic guy with the ball in his hands, and need to figure out ways. And we kind of talked about that last week too. But yeah, we'll have a good plan moving forward. Not just him, but our guys that are capable of making explosive plays.
What was the focus with the offensive line last week after they had struggled? Seems a decent bit against Florida.
Yeah, just kind of back to basics with them too. And, just from my standpoint, hey, what are we good at? What are we average at? Let's do the things we're good at. Let's try to not do the things we're average at. So there's a little bit of both. But, it really comes down to execution and just basic football 101. And so we really just tried to go back to that, not just up front, but, all areas. And a lot of times when you do that, you can really slow down. You can start to improve. Because like I said before, when you're in the heat of everything, you got a game and a game and a game, you start having to scheme up, and you got to work on their different pressures and their different looks. Well, when you have an off week, you can sit there and work on you. And that's really what we did, and just slowed down and worked on the basics. And I really look for that group to improve. Now, we need to continue to stay healthy. We've been pretty fortunate. up to this point, minus a game or two. But if that group stays healthy, I expect them to improve.
The question about
more important as a freshman was that week for Bo Nixon to do all the things that you were just talking about with the offensive line, kind of evaluate what he does well.
Oh, yeah. No, there's no doubt. And things that he feels comfortable with. And you get on the practice field and the things that he can execute at a high level, that's what you call. Things that maybe that, hey, we need a little more time, we don't call it. So, it's really as simple as that. What he feels comfortable with, and we've worked hard on that last week. We'll continue that this week. Now, he feels more comfortable with a lot of things more than he did the first game. But, now we've got halfway through our season, and we had an off week. So we're in a different spot. He's not that same true freshman he was the very first game of the year where we're learning. We know a lot about him. He knows a lot about our offense. And we have a plan moving forward for the second half of the season.
question about Worm. I mean, he's almost as fast as Schwartz, if not right there. Yet he's not a very effective tailbacker. He hadn't been this year.
He's an effective tailback. Yeah, we just got to give him opportunities in space, and he runs between the tackles well too. And without Boobie Whitlow now, he's going to get more opportunities just like the other guys. But we're real high on him, and I think he's capable of making some explosive plays.
I mean, is it a function of maybe putting him in different situations to get the most out of his speed, or what do you think?
I think it's a little bit of a lot of things. What he does well, kind of, and what try to get him in some one-on-one situations.
Gus, defensively, you'll face another team that throws it a good bit. How have you seen, especially that secondary, come along and tackling really well? How have you seen them?
Yeah, I think first of all, we've been tackling well. We got to continue to do that. We've been tackling well in space, and I think our guys, coverage-wise, have done a solid job against some good receivers. Now they have some very talented young receivers. They got a tight end that's one of the best in our league too. So they have some weapons. We're going to have to do a good job of disrupting them and affecting the quarterback, which, I think we've done a pretty solid job of affecting the quarterback, this first half of the season.
On that end, T.D. Moultrie kind of made that play against Florida.
Yeah.
Have you seen him kind of build on that?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's getting more healthy. And, with that, you get more confidence. And when you go out there and you make a play, that helps you. So really hoping that'll, carry over.
Big picture on the special teams. How do you think those guys are doing so far?
I think they're improving. As we've gotten healthier and got our gunners and things like that kind of lined out, we've done a lot better job of covering kicks. Early in the year, we didn't cover kicks very well, but we really improved in that, the last probably 3 to 4 games. And so, I feel like we're in good hands. We talked about the punts. We got to catch the punts in the air. That's really been a focus. And, and I think, Noah, given more chances, he's a dynamic guy. So I think we're in a good spot, special teams, as long as we stay healthy.
Yes, it seems like, and I haven't counted, but it seems like y'all have thrown the ball over in the middle of the field, thrown slants somewhat more this year than in some other years. Was that a focus going in to do that?
Yeah, I think it was a focus, but at the same time, what our quarterback feels comfortable with too, and he feels comfortable with that. And, I think you'll see that trend continue the second half of the season.
What gives you the confidence that with Whitlow out, that your running game will be as productive or more productive?
Well, first of all, you got to be real. We're not going to go to Arkansas with one of the best tailbacks in our league. I just think that's the reality of the thing. But we do have confidence in our other guys, and we got confidence in our offensive line. And what we've been talking about is opportunity. So we got some guys that have opportunities. Like I said, we'll see how they fare. Cam Martin, we know a lot about him. Cam Martin's played a lot of big games and played well. And Shivers is a guy that we just talked about, that he's capable of making some plays. DJ Williams, we talked about him, that this will be really his first time in prime time to see what he can do. But in the fall he performed spring he performed very well. Then Harold Joyner will have a role, and he has played, specifically in the Texas A&M game and did a solid job. And then Malik Miller's kind of our specialized guy. So, we're carrying that group as a group. We'll see how they do. But, I'd be kidding myself to say Boobie Whitlow not going with us is not a big blow. But, we have opportunities for those other guys to show what they can do.
If you guys were evaluating DJ Williams last year? Because he was playing quarterback and really didn't come on the scene until senior year, but he was playing quarterback. How did you guys evaluate him and obviously see some of the things he could do as a running back and be able to play on the SEC level?
Yeah, it was the middle of the season last year, and somebody showed me his highlight film, and it took probably about 5 plays to figure out like that guy's a real player. And then everybody in the country offered him after that, and so he's got a skill set. And this spring, he confirmed that, and just feeling more comfortable. He got hurt. Had a shoulder surgery after spring, and then he had a little groin issue earlier, where I think he would probably be in a better spot than his first opportunity, probably. So, but we got confidence in him. He's a talented young man.
Gus, how valuable is a guy like Malik Miller that's willing and able to do the dirty work and just do whatever you need?
Yeah, Malik's a smart guy, and he's a veteran guy. He's played a lot of football, played in the SEC championship game too. So, him and Cam Martin are 2 guys that, they're veteran guys. They've been there and done that. You can count on them. You can trust them. And, both those guys will be factors, for us moving forward.
Your 8-0 record after bye weeks, what all would you say goes into that?
Just really thinking about you, like we talked about earlier, getting better at what we do. And then it gives you an extra time to get prepared for the opponent. Anytime you have extra time to prepare for an opponent, it's a huge advantage. So, it was good. They do some different things defensively. They do a lot of different things offensively. I mean, they run a lot of different plays. So, I'd say it's been good for us. But the bottom line is, and probably I should have said this, you heal up, and so you can be a little fresher mentally, whether it's a coach's standpoint or a player's standpoint. But, man, we got to play good football. I mean, like I said at the very first, you're talking about they're a hungry team. They've been close. Could have beat A&M. Could have beat Kentucky. They're still holding it together. And like I said, it's a tribute to their staff, a tribute to Coach Morris. Some of the teams in our league lose a game or two, and they're worried about the skies falling, But, man, them dudes have hung in there. And so we really expect we're going to get their best. We got to play good football. And so whether it's them or anybody, it's one game at a time. We've been saying that, but that's what it is. And we need to play good football, and that's our approach.
Does this any different for your own team? Because you guys are flying so high, and singing your praises, and then you had a kind of an eye-opening loss there. What's been the attitude of your team?
Yeah, it's been good. And just so you know, in here with our team, even when we were flying high and everybody was patting us on the back, we didn't buy into all that. So what? Now, you wait till the end of the season, then you'll figure everything out. So it really wasn't. We were disappointed in our loss, but in the big picture, we're not going to get patted on the back. We're not going to buy into that. We're not going to buy into everybody the sky is falling. We're not buying into that. We're going to go one game at a time. We'll see what happens at the end of the year. And that's really our approach, and we'll continue to do that.
The fact that you and Chad are friends, does it add anything to this particular game? Is it tougher?
We've coached against each other. I have a lot of respect for him. He's an outstanding coach. He's an outstanding person. This week we really won't talk until we get the game and all that. But, I root for him every other game but this one, and I think he does the same.
Do you talk to him a lot?
We do.
Outside of this week?
We do. Yeah, we do.
Is it weird to see him leading your home state team where you grew up and everything?
I'm proud of him wherever he's coached. He's just proud of him. We're 2 high school coaches, and we're coaching the SEC, and I've always been proud of him.
Anything else?
All right, thank you.